Okay, so maybe you thought it was pretty funny when you dressed up like OJ for that Halloween party back in 1995. But hey, look at that social media. Those old photos coming back up. And maybe the reaction today is not what you would expect.
Yeah, one just posted of me from 10 years ago. So it happens. They pop back up.
Oh,
so
Lordy.
San Diego State, but I didn't dress as OJ. San Diego State University Business Ethics Lecturer Dan Eaton on the KOGO News Live line. Hey there, Dan.
Ted, how are you?
Good, thank you. So let's say someone digs up those old pics, the ones you took a million years ago. Can what you did decades ago actually lose you a job today?
Well, it could. I mean, if you're an at-will employee, there are a broad right to fire you for any reason that doesn't violate fundamental public policy. But if they're using that as the excuse, it may be pretextual for something else. So you don't want to take that as a reason for firing at face value.
So one can't help but wonder if kids these days are prepared for what social media is going to mean to them tomorrow.
LaDona, that's an excellent point. Look, social media has a very nasty tail. That Twitter bird has a tail that can come back to bite you many, many years later. And I think it's very important to keep that in mind. That said, you have to allow for the spontaneity of youth. Kids are going to be kids, and I mean that broadly since I do teach at San Diego State in addition to being an employment lawyer. So you have to be careful, and you have to think, what is myself 20 years from now going to have to deal with should I proceed the way I'm thinking about proceeding on this Halloween night?
Well, okay, here's another thing. Should we be purging our social media of anything other than, cat memes, butterflies, and things about how women are the most precious jewels on earth?
No, Ted, I think the important thing is to think before you act. That's broadly, not just on Halloween, but it would be a mistake. For example, I'm African American, for a white person to dress in blackface. Even commenting on that can get you in trouble, as I think the two of you and most of our listeners realize. So think before you act. What you might think is funny may not be broadly funny and may be socially unacceptable, and that can have reputational consequences that your employer may want to avoid.
Let's talk about the like this afternoon. We're having a big Halloween party costume contest here at the station, and I haven't seen anything offensive. And this is a radio station, which what we do is offend. So I'm absolutely shocked by that. But be that as it may, I mean, do you just have to stay away from anything that is political, that is racially charged, that is sexually charged?
Well, racially charged and sexually charged, yes. Politically, you have a tougher problem because the employer can't do anything that can in any way be viewed as influencing your politics under California law. They have to give you some freedom of space. When you're talking about racially or sexually charged, that's a different issue. The rules of sexual harassment and racial harassment still apply. And LaDona, it comes with suggestions, too. It would be a mistake, for example, for a supervisor to suggest that a subordinate dress as a witch, or for a supervisor to dress a Muslim employee as Osama bin Laden. It's actually happened, believe it or not, in a Michigan case some years ago. So these things actually happen, and it does all come down to the costume. There are also some interesting cases concerning provocative decorations, but we won't get into that.
Yeah, let's kind of leave that right there. Dan Eaton, SDSU Business Ethics Lecturer. We can only imagine. Dan, thanks a lot for your time.
All right, thanks.